Welcome to AFD'S Academy. I'm Arthur Francis Deban. Today, we want to talk about cyanide detoxification. Cyanide is a group of xenobiotics called cyanogenetic glucoside. It's a major food contaminant in the tropics, which means that when we consume food that are made of cyanide, it tends to be very highly poisonous. But through drug metabolism, we've come to understand that the body secretes an enzyme that is able to reduce the impact of this cyanide into something less toxic, which is thiosulfate. The enzyme is called thiosulfate transsulfurase. When thiosulfate transsulfurase is secreted by the body, react with this cyanide, it forms a compound called thiocyanate, which is less toxic. The less toxicity of this cyanide enable or makes us, those who consume it, not to die, or because of its poisonous nature, we are unable to die, we sustain, we are able to live because of that conversion made by the body through the process of what drug metabolism. Here in Africa, for example, 90% of Africans, especially the west part of the Africa, depend on cassava as our major source of food. Like it should be before now, where we use it to produce or process what we call gari here in Africa, which tends to be a very essential food for us, the Africans. We process gari. Now, the principles of these processes is supposed to be that in the process of we harvesting our cassava, we grind it, keep it for a time being 2-3 days while it is still in the bag grounded. Then fermentation takes place in the cause. Thereafter, we fried it, then before we can use it to do everything which we want to do. But because of the economic hardship, the people nowadays facilitate the process. They do no longer wait for that gari to undergo fermentation, which will reduce the cyanide content. As soon as they process it, they harvest it, they grind it, they process it immediately, almost immediately, and we consume it. But because of the high concentration of cyanide, this, through drug metabolism, the body secretes that enzyme, the thiosulfate transsulfurase, which convert the cyanide into thiocyanate, which is less toxic, and that sustains us. And I guess too well that you never knew about that. And this is the chemical equation to show that. So here we have our cyanide, and when we consume cyanide in the body now sends an enzyme called the thiosulfate transsulfurase. So when these two react, the thiosulfate transsulfurase now convert this cyanide into thiocyanate, which is less toxic. Plus this. This is less toxic, formed in the body. And with this, we're able to sustain or to be sustained without any poisonous effect because of the body chemistry. So God knows better by creating us, by creating human, putting in him or in the human body every element in need to sustain it. Knowing too well that the people, especially those in Africa who depend on cyanide containing food to survive, will need the enzyme thiosulfate transsulfurase for its conversion into a less toxic compound that will sustain us. So the next time we meet, I'll give us another update. For the time being, thank you and have a nice day.